Good morning, traders. Jefferson Fossey here with Walsh Trading. Happy Monday, everyone. It is Monday, October 27th. A couple ticks here after 7:45 here in the morning. Let's take a look at the market, see what happened here on Friday, what happened over the weekend, overnight, what might happen here today and this week. Please keep in mind that futures trading does involve substantial amounts of risk, certainly not suitable for all investors, traders, or producers. So starting off with the livestock markets, live cattle were limit down 725 lower here on Friday. That's pretty unusual. We've seen feeders do that a few times here over the past couple of months. Fats don't generally tend to do that here, but the lock limit move here on Friday is not particularly friendly, closing below that 50-day moving average significantly here. Haven't done that really to my eye since I got to go back to April. At that time, the 100-day moving average found some decent support there. That would put us at 228.14 here in the December fat cattle here, which would be what, about $5-6 lower or so, give or take a little bit. Nothing firm has come out, but everybody seems to, or the way the market's trading here, some of this is profit taking, some of this is week longs, kind of running for the exits. I don't think that the U.S. government's plan to quote unquote lower beef prices really does anything to increase the supply, but it does change perhaps the sentiment of the market, and at least in the short term here, it's certainly been bearish. Long run, I still think we got less cattle and more people to feed, so look for this market to find support, but for the moment it is trending down and trading on the bearish side. Same thing here with feeders. They were 925 lower here on Friday. That's a limit. Today, both of those have expanded limits, 1075 here in live cattle and 1375 in feeders. Feeders also broke that 50-day moving average, also gapped lower. Lots of gaps to talk about here today on my charts. They gapped lower here on Friday here, leaving a hole here for what Thursday's low was 356.87. Market looks very, very heavy. First time we've closed underneath the 50-day moving average here for the life of this contract. The next downside target that I would have would be either the September lows right around that 335 area, or to 332, which is where you've got that 100-day moving average. Livestock markets, cattle look pretty weak here. Lean hogs were up 12 here on Friday. Lower lows, lower highs, but not a whole lot of momentum. Market's pretty oversold here at the moment. Next downside target I'd have would be about that 200-day moving average. That's at 80.57 or so here as of Friday's close. Grain markets gapping higher, or most of them gapped higher here overnight. News over the weekend that there's a framework of a deal here for between the U.S. and the Chinese. Apparently the 100% tariffs that were supposed to go into effect here later this week here on November 1st are now off the table. Corn market's up 6.5 this morning, trading at 429.75. Basically making 1 month highs, give or take a little bit. Market's looking fairly strong, still has a gap to fill there at 432.75. That would be the next upside target. To my eye from here, 437.5 is that 200-day average. Long-term trend resistance is going to be up around 448 to 450 or so. Nice big fat round number up there here as well. Soybeans taking well, they're getting the most play out of the China news. They're up 21.25, big gap up here on the day, trading at what? Well, we haven't been this high here since what, June 20th here in soybeans. That's a pretty bullish move there, breaking above that recent trend line resistance. Big gap on the chart though there. Friday's high was 1063. The overnight low was 1070.25. So that 1063, if it does pull back there, that should be support level. But I don't know if we're going to pull back there anytime soon. Market seems to be taking the news of a potential Chinese deal fairly bullishly. Same thing here with soy meal. It's up 290 here this morning at 297. Had a strong day up on Friday, gain on $1.80. Also gapped higher here on the open, but they've gone back. Haven't quite filled that gap yet. It's about 20 cents below today's low. That's at 294.60 is where that gap goes to. Resistance is going to be 299.80. We'll call that $300. Soy meal's also trading at the highest level. It's been here since August 22nd, so you're making 2-month highs here in soy meal. Pretty strong move up there in my estimation. Bean oil also a little bit higher, not getting much of a pop out of this. It's up 44 here this morning, continues to maintain a kind of a choppy little uptrend, if you will. Doesn't seem to have a whole lot of momentum behind the soybean oil market right now. Wheat's jumping this morning. Finished last week on the positive note here, up finishing with a strong week up last week. This morning we're trading above that 50-day moving average, something we haven't done in wheat since July 3rd. Was the last time we traded up above that average. That's a pretty strong move, I think. There is a gap there on the chart. Friday's high was 515.5. Look for them to try to push back and hit that 50-day average of support, maybe even fill that gap. But I do like the way the wheat market's trading from the bullish side here today. Same thing with KC. It's up 11.25 here at 512.75. Finished Friday up 1.5 pennies. Pretty strong week for the KC contract here, and that's also up above the 50-day moving average. We traded above it here on July 3rd, but we haven't closed up above it here. Well, got to go all the way back to June 23rd here. So pretty strong move up for KC wheat. Let's see if the wheat markets can continue that. The only other new signal that I have here on any of my charts here this morning is in the U.S. dollar index. Where is that? That's at 98.62. It's down about 12 here on the day. Friday's trade, it did hook back to the buy side here. Spike low on Friday, getting down to 97.98.5 to closing 98.74.5. We're up at the top end of the range here. The U.S. dollar is trying to strengthen up, but it has not yet broken out of the trading range that we've been in here. Well, to my eye, at least since April, the middle of April, the dollar's kind of been stuck in a range, not really willing to break out. Perhaps it's getting ready to do that now. Stock markets are all jumping higher here. The S&P's up 57, gapping higher here this morning. NASDAQ's up 327, also gapping higher. Dow's up 240 here on the futures, also gapping higher. Russell 2000 started that way. They filled the gap. It's still up 25 here. And all the equity markets are looking strong. You've got major earnings this week. You've got a Fed meeting. They'll make an interest rate announcement here on Wednesday of this week. That'll be at 1 o'clock Central Time. General expectation is they're going to cut rates by 1/4 point with this meeting, and by another 1/4 point here with the meeting in December. Other markets that are moving around quite aggressively here, gold and silver here popping around here again today. December gold's down $84, breaking through that trend line that's been in place here for the last couple of months. Getting close to that Fibonacci support level. That's at $39.85, $4,000 even. Might also offer us some support there as well. But the gold market's pushing back here. Short-term averages flip to the sell side here with Friday's trade there. At least on my chart, December silver flipped that way here with Thursday's trade. That's just below, right on that trend line support right there. Let's move this Fibonacci thing back to where it's supposed to be. That's more like it. We're right on that 38% retracement here, trading right around that 47.30 mark. Right now we're 47.50. Silver is kind of breaking through some support there. Let's see if they can hold it. Been in an uptrend here for quite some time. I expect that trend to resume at some point, but the market's turned very weak here over the last 10 days or so. That's what I know here today, folks. I do appreciate you listening. If you like what you hear, like what you're seeing, remember to like, share, subscribe so you get notifications when I do go live. Drop me a line. Let me know what you'd like me to cover. Enjoy the day.